Everything's in 14. That's true. That was one thing I was actually interested in when I was playing 14. Like, I'm not a big 14 guy. I mean, I like it, but I haven't played through all of it. But recently, like in the last year, I was working on playing through Final Fantasy 14. And, you know Donna Soul? Oh yeah, Wormek is hard to find. The Genji armor drops off of Wormek? Okay. We can get Wormek. He's like a 1 in 64 chance though. He's like super rare. Well, I have fought Wormek before, but the one time I ran into Wormek, he kicked my ass because I wasn't ready for him. I don't think I've ever beaten Wormek before. But anyways, what is it? Oh, that's the chest we couldn't open. What was I saying? Oh yeah, I've been playing Final Fantasy 14, and so I played through the entire original A Realm Reborn main story, and I got my my Magitech armor mount, which plays the Final Fantasy VI music when you mount up on it, and I was just like, oh my god, I love this so much, right? And then the raiding, you get to go to the Crystal Tower and you fight through all the Final Fantasy 3 bosses and everything, and I was like, oh my god, this is so nostalgic. Like, to have like a Final Fantasy 3 raid, dude, I can't wait to play more Final Fantasy 14 and see what other things they come up with, right? Like so many people don't know Final Fantasy like 2 and Final Fantasy 3, like the really older ones. So like I wonder like how many people play through and they're fighting like getting like a little pet cloud of darkness and crap and don't even know what it is. You know, like I spent like 2 weeks doing Crystal Tower on the stream one time. Just like exploring it and dying in it, and I wasn't playing as much as I did now. But Crystal Tower is a blast. It's a big part of that game. One of the things, like, you think you're really far in the game, and you get to Crystal Tower, and it just goes on and on and on. Yeah, when I did do the content, like, I did it basically solo. I just, you join up, and then everybody just, like, runs ham over the dungeon. So I mean, it wasn't really like a raid experience. It was just a bunch of people killing things for me for the most part while I watched the story, which is like, you know, whatever. That's one thing that I feel like MMOs need to work on. That is the main thing that I think MMOs need to work on, especially like World of Warcraft, because that's the one I know the best. But I think this is true for Final Fantasy 14 too. They need to work on keeping old raid content relevant, or at least making it possible for it to be relevant in some way so that people will actually still play it the way it was meant to be played. Not like soul it, not like just raffle stomp over it, but actually be able to play the old raids. That's one of the things I love about the idea of WoW Classic. I'm not a huge big fan of like vanilla WoW Classic, but if WoW Classic gets through Burning Crusade and into like Wrath of the Lich King, that would be my jam, you know? Like, I want to go kill Arthas again, but have it actually be like in a raid setting, you know, with like it actually having some difficulty. But like I was really excited when I heard about what they were doing with Shadowlands. So like, I don't know if everybody in here knows about this, but with Shadowlands, World of Warcraft is changing their leveling system so that when you're leveling a new character, you go through like a starter area. It takes you from 1 to 10, right? And they've done the level squish with Shadowlands, so the max level is going to be 60 again. 50 to 60 is going to be the Shadowlands content. But like 10 to 50, those 40 levels, you're going to get to choose which expansion you want to use as your leveling expansion. And you'll skip everything else and you'll just do that expansion. So you can be like, I want to do Mist of Pandaria. And you'll just do all the Mist of Pandaria zones, and that'll get you from 10 to 50. So you get to experience the full story, right, theoretically, of Mist of Pandaria. And that's a good idea, except for the fact that they're not really experiencing the full story, right? Like, it's much better than we have now. Right now, it's like, okay, well, I hit 60, so now I'm going to go to, you know, the Outlands or Wrath of the Lich King for like 5 minutes, you know, and do like one zone, and then I'll out-level the area and leave before anything happens, so you get like no story whatsoever. At least now you'll be able to experience all the zone quests, I guess. As you level up, you can focus on one of them. That's better. But what will be much better is if you actually could experience those old expansions still, and you could actually do the raids, because let's face it, in World of Warcraft especially, all of the big story points are in the raids. Like, if you care about the lore of World of Warcraft, if you care about the story and what's happened, every major thing that has happened in the story of World of Warcraft happens in one of the raids. Like, if you want to know what happened in an expansion, there's the lead up to it, and then there's a bunch of quests that don't really matter. They're just setting up and prologue stuff. And then there's what happened in Raid 1, what happened in Raid 2, what happened in Raid 3. That's the big story points. You know, you hear like, we fought Illidan, that was a raid. We fought Arthas, that was a raid. You know, like, so-and-so killed so-and-so, that was probably a raid, you know? Like, so they need to find a way to make old raid content actually be something you can still play, and still play correctly. Like, I don't want it to be like going through a cutscene, you know, like, but you know, I don't have a solution to it. I'm just saying that's a problem that they have. Good luck to them on figuring it out. I don't know if Final Fantasy suffers from that same problem, but my experience raiding Crystal Tower tells me they probably do, because it seems like you just sign up for it, you wait like 15-20 minutes, and then a group of people just stomp all over all the enemies for you while you know, saunter through the raid trying to keep up, basically. So you're not really raiding, you're just taking your time as the story plays out, more or less. They've done something like this recently. They added Unreal mode for Shiva, which scales the content up to level 80 so you can do the right fight as intended. See, that's nice. I like that. Like, it'd be fun to be able to play the old content as intended. The problem is that like when it comes to like Blizzard, WoW doesn't want you to get current gear from old content. They want you to be doing the new content to get the current gear. And since they're not going to offer good gear rewards, no one wants to put the time in to play it. Because, you know, raiding's a lot of work. You got to get all these people together. If it's really old raids, you have to get like 40 people together. And no one's going to get together to do it if they're not getting some kind of reward that actually matters. And you're never going to get a reward that actually matters from old content. The little bit of Final Fantasy XIV that I have played, Dr. Level Up, was amazing. And from everything I've been told by everybody I know that knows about the game, what I've played is the worst part of the game. So, like, everyone's like, oh no, the next expansion's better, and the one after that's even better. You know, it's like, I played through, like, the slog, and I still loved it. So, like, I can only recommend it. I have all intentions that when we get to 14 in this long franchise playthrough marathon, whatever you want to call it, we'll most likely end up playing 14 on here and doing the whole story, which that'll be fun, right? Had a huge problem with the two main Realm Reborn story dungeons where people who hadn't played it before would be watching the cutscenes. Yeah, near the end when you're like getting the Magitech armor and everything, like that whole thing is like a really long set of dungeons with a lot of story. Like the story takes longer than the actual dungeon, and if you're I felt bad watching the cutscenes, but I'm like, this is my first time, I gotta watch the cutscenes, but everybody else just wants to move on, you know, because they've seen it 5 billion times and they're just doing their daily roulette or whatever, right? And I feel for them and I understand, but yeah, that's their solutions with the cutscenes are unskippable, right? Which just makes the dungeon take forever. No one wants to do it. I don't have a good answer for that. I think maybe that shouldn't have necessarily been a dungeon, I guess is the real answer, right? If it's got that many cutscenes in it, unless it's like a raid or something, like a regular ass dungeon probably doesn't need to have like 20 minutes of cutscenes in it, you know? Because who's gonna want to do the dungeon over and over again if you have to sit through all the cutscenes? But I think they've learned from that. I mean, I assume that they know that was a problem and they probably don't make that mistake anymore, you know? That's my assumption. I haven't played enough of Final Fantasy 14 to know if that's true, but they're not idiots, you know? I remember the dungeon you're talking about, though. I was on the I've never seen it before end of that, and I was like, I mean, I'm sorry. You know, like, I want to see the cutscenes. Everybody's complaining about the cutscenes, and I'm like, oh, I want to see them. I was so excited to get that Magitech armor, though. I'm not kidding. Like that's the biggest thing for me with Final Fantasy 14. Like, I'm playing through this and I'm seeing all these things from like my childhood. You know, I'm seeing like the Magitech armor and fighting through the crystal tower and like all this. I'm like, oh, dude, this is awesome. Okay, we're finally through the forest. That floor takes forever. All right, B5. So this is floor B5. This is the floor that has the bosses on it. So there are 4 bosses here. One on the left, one on the right, and then if we don't go in these doors and come up here, there are 2 more, one on the left and one on the right. So we're gonna have to go through this dungeon 4 times to get all of them. Let's do the top left one first. I don't know which one's which, but like once you go in and fight it, we have to leave. So we'll have to do the dungeon again to do the other ones. In me are all things great and small extinguished. Die now, warriors of light. Who are we fighting? A 2-headed dragon. I forgot that one. Oh, the music. Nice. All right. Attack. Let's actually temper him. And you don't have magic yet, so I don't know why I thought you could haste. Back up. Let's have you haste him. You can just attack. We're gonna buff up the monk this time. Oh my god, he just one-shot my red mage. That's an issue. So this guy can put out some damage. Shit. I don't think healing them is gonna help. These high potions don't do enough. So just keep attacking. If they get hit, we'll have to raise them. Temper him. High potion him. Keep attacking. Shit. I don't know how much health this guy has, but man, we are possibly in big trouble here. I didn't save either, so we might have to redo this dungeon. Did I save before we came in here? Alright, we got him maxed out again. Okay. Actually, it doesn't matter. We can't. He can't take a hit, so we just need him to stop hitting the red mage. Okay, that's fine. It'd be nice if we could get a protect spell out, but we don't have. We can't right now. Yeah, see, just getting temper on him like once or twice is gonna make such a huge difference. All right, we have to keep him up though. If he drops, he loses all of his buffs too, and he has to keep attacking. If we can keep the monk up, we win. In this case, we don't have the items that can help us buff along with him yet. So just you attack, you get him back up, you just keep attacking. Shit! That was the one thing we didn't want to happen. Alright, so now we have to redo all the buffs. This is gonna be rough. Okay, that's who I want you to attack. Okay. Later on we'll have much better ways of doing this. The ninja will be able to help buff. And there'll be items to help buff, so we can buff much faster, and we'll have more defense, and we'll be able to put defensive buffs up. But we can't do any of that yet, because we're coming here so early. Yes! You attacked the right person. Alright, you high potion yourself. You temper him again, for the love of God. You high potion him again. Keep attacking. I think with it 343 he might live through a hit. That's the thought. There we go. He's getting low on health by now, probably. Lost our caster again. Perfect. Keep attacking him. That is what we want to see. It sucks that the red mage is so squishy. He only has 261 hit points. We gotta work on that. Boom! We win. That was rough, but we got it. Alright. What do we get for beating the two other dragons? The Bard's Tunic. What does the Bard's Tunic do? A light, loose-fitting tunic. I mean, it's better than Mithril Mail, apparently. I wonder if it does anything else. Seems like it's just for the red mage. Okay. Oh, the elven cloak too. Cloak enchanted with elven magic. Oh. Alright. Let's save. I was like, I didn't save before I went into the boss fight like a dummy. Whew. So 1 boss down, 3 more to go for this dungeon. We cannot go back out once you fight the boss though, so we have to teleport out and then go through the dungeon again. And it'll be different this time. That was the top left one, right? So top left is done. We got to do the other 3. Alright. Bard's Tunic, huh? I wonder if there's anything special about the Bard's Tunic or if it's just like a nice red mage armor. Alright, we got this floor last time. We know those are high potions now. We couldn't open that last time. Alright, we got the desert again. Oh, I didn't heal him yet. Oh, back up. Okay. Damn it. Alright, that's fine. But you got plenty of Phoenix Downs. And we're almost to the point in the game where we're not going to need money anymore, so it really doesn't matter. Okay. Wow, we just found the stairs. That's convenient. That was much faster than last time. Let's go with the poison. Protect drink. Alright, gotta do the force again. It's pretty much the same this time. Okay, so apparently the Bard's Tunic is lightweight, so it doesn't hurt your evasion as much. It only has 20 defense, and it gives you resistance to silence. It doesn't tell you that. That's the thing I hate about older Final Fantasy games, or a lot of old RPGs in general. They don't tell you everything an item does. The Bard's Tunic apparently protects you from silence, which is great to have on our red mage, but I didn't know it did that. I had to go look it up. I knew it must do something. Next time we should probably see if we can get off some like protect spells before the boss gets going, so we don't have as hard of a time healing. It'd be really nice when our knight and our ninja can help out with the buffing. Like, the knight will be able to get the protection spells up, the ninja will be able to help get the temper and the haste up. Can't believe we did that one just like throwing high potions around, but I guess it worked. You can see what a big difference those buffs make though. Like the monk goes from doing like less than 100 damage to doing like 700 a round just with like 2 tempers and a haste. Almost through this dungeon. Forced again. I think. You can see why the bonus engines can take a long time. Some of the floors are just like so... There's so much to them. Like working your way through a forest or a world map or a desert or whatever. And this is the shortest one. And the next one's 10 floors, but you only have to go through it twice. So it still ends up being 20 floors total if you get all the bosses. Yeah, we're going backwards. This one you have to fight guys that are in your way and... Oh, wrong way. Okay, which way do we go? This way, I guess. The random battles, and you have the guys that you have to talk to and fight. It's kind of sad this party actually feels squishier than my normal mage party. This red mage is like a lot squishier than I'm used to my red mages being. Like he literally has half the hit points of the fighter, and he has significantly less hit points than everybody else. Alright, what am I missing here? Is there a different layout of trees this time, or am I just lost? I'm probably just lost. Come in here. Is he farther up somehow? This way, I guess.